Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the space where we reimagine Africa and where we reimagine living. And guess what I have today? Sally is here with me. And I tell you, this is going to be so much fun, Sally. Let me just go ahead and tell you.
Okay.
One thing you have to understand is that doing this split screen is new to me.
Okay.
I've only done it once before.
Yes.
And it was hilarious because I didn't know what I was doing. And today I actually know what I'm doing.
I like that you're bold enough to try it and
Yeah.
make mistakes, and that's how you learn and progress. So I'm all for it. As scary as it is, it's usually pretty scary, but hey, we have
Yeah.
to do this thing.
I'm so excited that you're here to join me today because, I've been doing these Facebook Lives, I think, for 3 years now. And I've been doing them by myself.
You are bold because I'm so afraid of live. I'm always like, what if I go live and nobody shows up? But then I see you just doing it, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you for having me.
No, this is amazing. My cousin Nora says, hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Nora.
So we have a few people joining us already. And
Okay.
to be honest with you, I never come here thinking about the people who are going to join me.
Okay.
I really think about the people who are going to receive the message. So
I
do
like
not even fret. In addition to that, I find that most people listen to me after I'm live. They listen to the replay.
yes.
So I'm not even concerned. I come here to share my heart. And so once I've done that, that's all I care about. And I'm not really concerned about it. So don't be bothered. Don't be concerned at all. Right?
Okay, so people have different schedules, different time zones as well. So, and they can listen to this later, whenever they want to. They can binge on it while they're driving, whatever they're doing. So, you can listen later. We welcome that too.
Yeah. So Sally is one of my favorite people, and I'm so excited to be talking to her today because number one, this past week, was it this past week or 2 weeks ago? This past week, you launched your ultimate travel guide. Let me say it properly. She launched the ultimate guide to solo travel, and launched that this 2 weeks ago.
Well, it was February 16th. So is that what 2 weeks?
10 days ago, about.
Yes. Okay, 10 days ago. You're right. But,
Yeah. And one of the things that brought me to you first is I loved your Instagram page and your Facebook page. I was like, oh my goodness, this girl is glamorous. This girl travels. This girl is doing a lot of things. And I was just like, who is she? And I'm sure you've heard that before, right?
You've told me this, and I don't take it lightly. It's such kind words because you'll be surprised. Sometimes you put things out and you don't know who will receive it or how they'll receive you.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, it really just makes my heart smile. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think, and then I was following you on Facebook, and I'm more on Facebook than I am on Instagram. And I was just like, I used to go to your page. It just looks so fabulous, so clean. The travel looks so beautiful, and I just wanted to look at it, right? And then I think, was it last year, right after we were sent home for COVID, you signed up for one of my classes.
Actually, no, I signed up, and your classes started in January.
It started in January.
Before COVID happened, we had no idea. And I signed up for your class because my best friend, Annie, whom you know, was like, Sally, I've signed up for this class with Jin, and I think you should do it. She's one of those people whom she doesn't hoard information.
Yes.
Something good, if something is good or she knows there's something you could benefit from, she wants everyone to know about it. And she will come to me and tell me, you need this, you need to do that. And trust me, any endorsement she makes, I go for it, and she'll tell you. So she told me about your class, and I was late to sign up.
Yes.
You actually had a deal. You had earlier, they paid a lot less.
Yes.
So by the time I was signing up, your price had gone up, as it should. So I signed up in January for your class, and then you know what happened.
Okay, so we started the class in January of 2020, and we were chugging along, planning our lives, creating our visions, and the class is called Design Your Life.
Yes.
And what it is a class, I take you through an in-depth study of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and it is an opportunity for you to design your life and release the cultural shackles. And as you know, we are Kenyan girls.
Yes.
So we have already talked about cultural shackles. You and I have talked about what cultural shackles are. And then the other thing is, of course, we recognize that we were in a rat race, right? So that is what we were working on. And so Sally and I began we got to know each other in the class. And during this class, COVID comes. And we didn't know what this thing was. We are sent home and we're trying to figure out what is going on. And for you, what were you worried about?
Oh my gosh, so much. Because I started the year 2020 with so much hope, as everyone does at the beginning of every year. You have all these plans. And this was actually the year that I was going to travel more, which in 2019, I travel a lot, obviously, but in 2019, I took a break because I was in the process of, you know what? I did my whole year off that I took off to travel, came back, got a job. And I told myself, you know what? I do need to buy a home. So 2019 was the year that I took the break to say, I'm going to save up some money. Let me start looking for the home. So I did one international trip that had 3 stops. So that was it, which is strange for me because I do about maybe 7 a year. So I only did one. But 2020 was a year that I was going to travel more. I had 7 trips lined up for international and then a few domestic trips. I was now going to finalize and get the home, which I got in January of 2020. Finally got that home. And I just thought, you know what? This is the year of me and growth and all those things. And obviously, we can predict a lot of things in life. So COVID came.
Yes.
And with COVID, brought a lot. So the first thing that happened to me was I got laid off.
Yes.
Well, they didn't call it a layoff initially. It was a furlough. I work in hospitality. So the airline industry and hospitality industry were the worst hit when COVID happened.
Yes.
Because nobody's traveling and nobody's staying at hotels. No conferences are being held. So the hotel I work at lost about $7 million in 1 week.
Okay.
So, and I don't know why I knew that happened, but I was still very calm. It didn't bother me. So when they called us into a boardroom and they said, we're so sorry, but we just have to, they didn't call it a furlough. They didn't call it a layoff either. I'm trying to remember what they called it.
Yeah.
They said, and because of course they lost so much money, they couldn't pay us.
Yes.
We would have to take a break.
Yes.
From work. I guess it's a furlough, if you will. The airlines call it that.
If you correct me if I'm wrong, there was not really language. HR was not committed to language because we didn't know what it was.
You know, you're right. And maybe it's a lot of like legal issues because I remember we were given a letter. And that letter was almost like releasing the job from any responsibility or us coming back to them. Because what he said to us was, hey, you know what's happening. It's really unfortunate. We can't even afford to pay you all.
Yes.
So they had to keep a skeleton staff to keep them running. But out of like 16 people in the sales department, which I was in, they kept maybe 3.
Yes.
So we went from 16 to 3.
Yeah.
It was maybe the 13 of us were called into a boardroom and the GM is there, our director is there just explaining how, of course, it's unfortunate. They don't know what's going on. So they said we would have to take about a 3-month break. They didn't, and then they said, as soon as business picks back up, we will definitely call you back to the hotel. Well, they didn't use the word definitely. They said, you will be the first to be considered.
In other words, you might not even come back.
They use a language that you cannot use against them later.
Yes.
So it's very generic. But bottom line was we lost the jobs and there was no pay. But they said they would help us with unemployment. They would help us with filing for unemployment for us because I've never had to file for unemployment. This was new to me.
Yes.
As I've been in this country for about 19 years now and I've always had a job. I've always worked 2-3 jobs. So I've never not had a job, never been laid off, never had to rely on employment. So this was the very first I'm thinking, wait, what? Unemployment? Okay. Yeah. And then I just closed on a home in January, the one I was talking about. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I've worked so hard all these years. I've saved all this money. I've been able to live comfortably. But as you know, when you buy a home, you have to put a lot of down payment. You're buying furniture, you're buying so many things. So a lot of that money went there. Yeah. So my savings went back down to like almost zero, to be quite honest. And then you're telling me I'm not going to have an income, and you already know how much we get for unemployment.
Yeah, unemployment is
$200 a week.
I always say you have grown lady bills. You have grown lady bills and very little money, right, coming in. And
Yeah.
so what happens for and I've experienced this before. I've been laid off before, and I
Okay.
don't know for you what it felt like when you have taken care of yourself for 19 years. You came as an immigrant and started from scratch, and then something starts to happen and you're losing it. What were you saying to yourself?
My goodness, there was so much going through my mind. Like, how am I going to make it out of here? And I'm that person who like you said, I've always taken care of myself. I've never had to rely on anyone. Maybe for emotional support, but financial, I've never relied on anyone for financial support.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, how will I get out of this? And of course, at that, it was just a lot.
Yeah.
Overwhelming, incredibly overwhelming at that point. But I'm thinking, okay, so we're going to have to figure out how to do this. And of course, I'm in the class where everybody in your class, which is amazing. And we're talking about how to progress and how to grow and live in our purpose. And, of course, when you're not doing well financially, it does something also to your mental, your wellness.
Yes.
You're not going to be okay at all. So I have anxiety. And of course, I'm sitting in this class like, I want to win, but there's a part of me that has no will.
Yeah.
To continue. Like,
okay.
I need
that is so amazing that you say that, because one of the things I teach in the class is that you cannot rely on your five senses. You cannot rely on what you see. You cannot rely on what you hear. You cannot. And the thing is, there's a place for that, because you are a human being. And of course, you need those things to help you get around. Right. But you've got to rely on something a little more than, what you see, what you hear, and all the fear that's around you. And you started to try and tap into things like your imagination and your intuition so that you can actually go through the survival of this process.
It's funny you say that, because before you get to the survival, there's so much fear and doubt. And as a human being, limiting beliefs as well. Like, I was like, I don't know how I can get out of this. And I know I wasn't unique in that situation, because this was happening to a lot of people in the country. But I wasn't thinking, oh, they strengthen numbers. I'm thinking, me, why is this happening to me? I'm looking at myself. It was really and I really felt so low. I'm usually high energy. I like I told you, I lost the will. And of course, sitting at home, things that used to bring me joy, like even just binge watching a show, I would just watch TV and nothing is sinking in.
Yeah.
Really just look at it like blank. Like I lost myself.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, this was a few months in the making, and you knew I didn't attend some of the classes.
Yeah.
Because I wake up and I think to myself, why?
Yeah. And it was interesting because I could see it in your eyes in the class that you were losing hope and you were trying to will yourself out of it. And willpower is one of those intellectual faculties that you have to have so that you can will yourself out. And I always go back to this story in the Bible about David. I always say that, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. So it's almost like, for him, he had lost everything. And the verse is, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. And I tell you, you literally have to will yourself out of bed, will yourself out to do what you need to do.
That's what I learned, because I thought, I think the way I've lived in life, because I've never had financial worries. Never had to worry. So I never had I've been very comfortable, and I've led maybe a blessed life, if you will. So this was the very first time that I had to deal with some type of adversity.
Yes.
And I've dealt with like death in the family, which was really but that aspect of it, my goodness. So what it taught me, now this is later, is it's almost like, the things you do every day, you do them, like it's like you wake up and you take a shower. No one tells you to do that. It's like motivation. You don't wake up motivated. Sometimes you do. Like there are times you wake up and you're like, oh, I got this. Then there are times you wake up and you don't feel like it. But those are the days you have to rely on that. You have to will yourself.
Yeah.
Like in motivation, you have to do it yourself.
Right.
It was funny.
You said to me that you liked your predictable life.
It was so predictable. Oh my goodness. It was predictable. It was comfortable. And you know what? I look back now, and I know people say so many things about COVID, but with what COVID did for me, it taught me so much about myself.
Yes.
Because what it did, I learned that every time I was stressed out, what did I do? Book a trip and get away. So I was an avoider. So I would avoid my problems. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this anymore. And I go, let's do this now. But this was the time, COVID took away the predictability. COVID took my income. So that was my money. COVID, obviously, we couldn't travel anywhere. Remember, even everything was stopped. So, and travel is my therapy. So you took away my what is it called? How I make my living. And you take away my best hobby, which is my therapy. What am I left with?
Right.
I'm left with I have to tackle the issue that I refuse. I used to just kind of push to the, on the back burner, if you will.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Goodness. Even that willpower that you talk about. Oh my God, there are days I never wanted to get out of bed.
And I get it, because I've had those days, and I've been very open with this audience. And thank you so much for joining. And of course, people will be dropping. And I'm talking to Sally, and Sally Nyambura has just recently launched a phenomenal travel guide, and it's called The Ultimate Guide to Solo Travel. And she loves to encourage single people or people who would travel alone to just go ahead and do it. How many times have you gone out in a group and said, hey, let's go, and then by the time the trip comes, it's just you and someone else, and that person drops out maybe 3 weeks prior to the trip? So Sally has figured out how to do it, and she has this wonderful guide, and I recently got it, and as soon as I got it, I scrolled through it, and the best thing I saw for me is the packing list. There's a packing list in her travel guide, and I need it so badly because we were just talking about how frequently you forget your charger, and she uses the packing list to go on the trip, and then when she's coming back from the trip, she uses it then. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have never used the packing list on my way back.
Yeah, people don't realize it. Well, see, I also work in hospitality, which I mentioned earlier, for so long. And I cannot tell you how many calls we get from guests who are checked out. Oh my God, I left this at the hotel. I left my dress in the closet, because you probably didn't even look in the closet. Oh, I left my charger. I left whatever, like in the bathroom. Like, could you please maybe send it to me? And because I travel internationally, I can't just call a hotel in Paris and be like, hey guys, will you send me a charger? You can buy another. But there's certain things you never want to leave. You can't replace. So this packing list, oh my goodness. This is years in the making, obviously, because I have traveled. Gosh, I've been traveling for a while, but traveling also alone. I've done that for about 7 years now.
Yes.
So when I wrote the book, I wrote the book because I get asked a lot. People come to me and they still tell me, how do you travel by yourself? How do you get the courage to do that? And I tell them, this did not happen intentionally. Like a lot of things in life, accidents, they are beautiful accidents that happen.
Right. But then I wouldn't call this one an accident, because as a child, this was your thing. One of the things that I do in my class is when you join, one of the first questions I ask, what did you want to be when you were 5? And for me, the answer is I wanted to be Miss Piggy. Because, let me tell you why I wanted to be Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy is a boss.
You know what?
He's a boss.
I never thought of it though, but nobody gave Miss Piggy any type of crap though. I mean, how we learn from this like childhood things. That, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I said, that's the first question I asked people in my class. What did you want to be when you were 5? And they're like, I can't remember. But the one thing that I want everyone to know is there's a common thread between what you wanted to do, the things that you enjoyed, the play that was in your life, and the work that you do. But somewhere along the line, we are taught that work is difficult. But when you go back to your 5-year-old self and ask yourself what it is you wanted to do then, you'll find that it is what gives you joy to this day. So I love Piggy, okay?
Oh my God.
You're the boss, and I wanted to be a boss.
You just actually blew my mind right now with that, because See how we all look at the same thing, but we don't, and we get different lessons from it. You just revealed something.
And she had fat feet and she wore pumps and she didn't care.
Yeah. Oh my, can you imagine to be able to eat what you want and don't give a damn what anybody thinks?
Nose, and she didn't care. She was glamorous anyway. So for me, that's what it was. For you, it was something different. What was it?
Wow, I said freedom. That is incredible. I mean, I never looked at Miss Piggy in that way. I just thought of her as very sassy.
Yeah.
Really sassy. And because I was taught to be, growing up, to be, the humility that you and I talk about.
Yeah.
Not to speak, speak when you're spoken to, be polite, be those things, like be the proper girl, if you know, like what I mean. So when I watch TV and I would see like strong women, God, it was a lot for me.
Yeah.
Back now, and I'm like, they should have inspired me to speak up, to have a voice. The older I get, the more I realize this boss women and boss characters that we've been shown.
Yeah.
Sometimes society will tell you, like, if a woman speaks up her mind, like, she's a bitch. People use that word all the time. They look as aggressive. Like angry black women is something they say, but no, it's not. It's just truly someone not wanting to get. They know their worth. Yes, and they want to be acknowledged and recognized. Yeah. 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 And the same opportunity. So, wow.
You're 5 years old, and I'm assuming it's 5, and you're in the playground and you're looking up in the sky, and what? You are thinking, I need to be on that plane.
I remember, because, I remember standard 3, maybe. I remember the Trufena books. Yes. There was a Trufena, the nurse. Yes. Then there was Trufena, the stewardess, the air hostess. Yes. It used to be called Trufena, the air hostess. I remember this book clearly, and I remember even the class I was in at the time. I don't know where the book came from, but I tell you, that book just made me want to be a stewardess at the time. Like, I wanted to be on a plane because she told stories of how amazing it was, the people she met, the places she went. And when I was in the playground, I remember I used to look up and see a plane. Like kids, we see planes all the time. Yeah. And I would always just imagine myself on this plane. And I would also wonder, who's on that plane? Where are they going? Who's meeting them on the other side? This is me as I was in primary school. Yeah. Lower primary school. Working standard 3, maybe to maybe 6. Yeah. Yeah. I used to be that kid. So,
But no one nurtured it. No one really nurtured your love for travel.
I didn't talk about it.
You didn't. Nobody knew.
No one knew. My mother didn't even know. She saw me reading books. Like, in school, it's so. Oh, there's someone listening from Mombasa. I love it. I love it. Oh, I miss Mombasa. Right now that it's cold, we need that heat. But we got so many books in school. Remember, people would exchange books? Yes. And it didn't matter if your parents couldn't afford books. There was someone in class who could afford a book. Yes. They read it, they gave it to you, and we all kind of traded books and comics. Yeah. We were able to get a lot of books. And libraries. Yeah. Libraries. Yeah. So for a curious child like myself, I read a lot. And I noticed that I was drawn to stories that were outside of my norm. Yes. I wanted to see how people lived. There was even a book I read. I don't know the title. I feel so bad. But it was based in India. Mm-hmm. It blew my mind, the stories they told, because it was nothing like what I knew. So you knew you'd go to those places? I wanted to. Because the storytelling was incredible in these books. if there's another one too, the Anthropology of African Stories. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that book. I remember this book because they made a mark for me. So they would talk about, like, it was different African countries. Yeah, and I was West African. I remember them talking about, like, men going to a shebeen. A shebeen is like a bar where they would drink like alcohol, like from a pot. Remember, like with a long straw. Right. That. So reading about it made it so interesting. And you wanted to go and see these places. I was always curious about the world outside of mine. Yeah. Now, it's kind of interesting that now you have been able to connect the two, right? You connected the two. You moved to the US. You started living, and now you want to transition from being an employee in the hotel industry that affords you the opportunity to travel. Because one of the things that you said to me is that
a lot of people could travel. They don't give themselves permission to travel.
They don't. And the people think it's expensive too.
Yeah.
Which is what I got a lot when I would travel, because even my own boss who knows exactly how much they're paying me, would actually look at me and ask the question. They would sometimes, I probably feel like they didn't know how to ask, but then eventually they were like, Sally, please explain to us how you're able to go to all these places, how you're able to afford it, because there was a misconception. There's somebody paying for these trips.
So there's someone's paying for this trip. You have a rich uncle, or you have a sugar daddy.
It was never about the uncles, sugar daddy. Like, let's be blunt and talk about it. They would always think there's a man somewhere who's funding these trips. Because how am I able to travel as frequently? Which is an insult, but then again, it's also the limited thinking. We don't think that it's possible.
Yeah. So what made you create the possibility? How did you do that?
So that's why, for me, I want to tell everyone, especially the young girls who are in their 20s, who see me traveling and they think it's so fabulous, and they come to me like, Sally, how I know. Some of them even tell me, when I grow up, I want to be like you. Or how do you do this? First of all, I tell them, girls, please, you're in school right now. Nora is saying something. But so I tell them to please stay in school, study, stay in their purpose, because these destinations are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, everything you see, especially on the internet, is not usually accurate, but people show you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
You don't know the struggles they have behind the scenes. So I tell them, just because you see me doing this now doesn't mean that I've been doing in my 20s. I barely did any traveling.
Yeah.
I was working 2-3 jobs. I was going to school. I was doing so much. But I see people who are younger, they're able to do it now. And I'm so happy that they're able to, because they have more options.
Yeah. And the travel guide is such a good place to go and learn about it. Because I think one of the things you've done is you've broken it down in pieces, and you've said, this is how you do it. These are the things that you need to know. And it is so clear for you to be able to just look at it and say, what is the best thing for me? What are the options for me?
And that's why, I wrote this book here. So, Luxury Travel on a Budget.
Yeah.
It's an ebook. Actually, I printed this out, but it's an ebook. So it's Luxury Travel on a Budget. And so for me, it was, and it's a free download, which you can get on my website, which is sallygworld.com.
Okay.
Explain to people, like, this is what I do.
Yes. I'm
able to afford it. And that's how I can actually do even some of the nicer things, because I like the luxury part.
Yeah,
I'm older now. I don't want to be backpacking. It's not for me. But I still encourage younger folks to do it. You got the energy. You can do all that backpack. There's couch surfing.
Yes,
around the world, who love having people from different countries at their homes. I'm not kidding. It's called couchsurfing.com. Yeah. You join the place, and any country you go to, they're couch surfers, including Kenya. I was so surprised to learn that. And what people like is the cultural exchange. It's like having an exchange student.
Yeah.
So someone can actually, they say they can put you for a night or two. So you get to meet locals who show you their destination. They become your tour guide. You get to stay in a place for free. How incredible is that? But there's that option. But for me, no, because I worked in hospitality. We get discounts. So I worked for Marriott. Full disclosure, I worked for Marriott. And Marriott is now the largest hotel brand, in the hospitality brand in the world. So the benefit for that, for as employees, is that we get employee discounts.
Right.
All over the world.
Yes.
So someone could be paying $300 a night, whereas as an employee, I probably would pay $50 a night.
By the way, there's a JW Marriott coming up in Nairobi.
My friends keep telling me that I need to go and work there. They're like, Sally, we need you in Nairobi, which would be beautiful to be able to actually work in Kenya. But I want to work in a consultant capacity, because I like freedom. I like my freedom.
Now, one of the photos that I saw on your page, and it's been a long time ago, where I see that there has been a complete transformation from how you visually appeared earlier on, and then became this glamorous. There was obviously a transformation. It's almost like you started to own yourself.
Very, very true. for everyone. I mean, you start something. That's why it's always good to even look back on your journey and be like, wow, look how far I've come.
Mm-hmm.
No one is born, I guess, being a genius, that's maybe a gift. But no one is born knowing everything.
Yeah.
No one is born with, oozing confidence. Some of
Mm-hmm.
the things we acquire over time, you
Yeah.
know. And they're acquired and they're developed as well.
Yeah.
I remember when I was starting out, because again, I would travel to these places afraid. I truly would do it. Like my first trip. So we talked about the solo travel, how it happened. So
Mhm.
I was supposed to go to California for a trip.
Yeah.
One country. And it was 10 people. 10 of us were going there. I was so excited about going. It was my first time in San Francisco. I'd seen the movie Sideways with Paul Giamatti, where they go for a bachelor party in California with his friend, and they're looking for the perfect Pinot Noir.
Mm-hmm.
That story did something, and I was like, oh my, I cannot wait to go to wine country. It just seemed so fabulous to me. So we were going there with my coworkers. I'm excited. And 2 weeks before the trip, everybody started falling off. Mind you, they'd all bought their tickets and we had our hotels booked. And some of them, it was actually not being flaky, to be honest, because people are flaky. And that's how you end up being by yourself sometimes. It was work responsibilities. Like, and family, or like emergencies truly happened for these people.
Yeah.
So nothing, it wasn't them being flaky, but they dropped out.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there by myself, like, how am I going to go to California by myself? I can't go to wine country by myself. I'm going to look so weird. Can you imagine going on a wine tour by yourself and doing a tasting and you don't have anyone to kind of go like, did you like it? And I'm like, people would look at me weird. I can't do it. So one of my friends that used to work in Atlanta had moved to California.
Yes.
I called him like, Brian, guess what? These people, because he knew them. I said, guess what? They canceled on me. Can you believe this? So I'm getting upset. And he's like, Sally, just come to California. Come. I'm here. He says, unfortunately, he was working. So you're like, I can't really hang out with you, but I'll make sure you're taken care of. I'm going to give you an itinerary, this and this and the other. Just come. And I went, that was my very first solo trip. And I went to California. He was working in a hotel. And God's grace, he let me stay in his hotel for free.
Yes.
I didn't know this. I showed up and he was like, it's taken care of.
Oh, what a good friend.
It was, oh my goodness, like I'm so grateful to this brand to this day.
Yeah.
And he got there. So he told me the train system, like you take the BART, you do this, you do that, you go here, you do there. And I told him I wanted to go to Alcatraz because a story of Al Capone. I told you that's his history and things like that. So I went to Alcatraz, and I remember sitting, in line to get the ticket. All you see around you are couples, families, friends. Yeah. And I was the only person by myself. And I'm like, really, this is weird. I am standing out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
It was all in my head. It really was. All these fears sometimes are in your head. They don't.
And we talk about that in the class because it's like us fears. And we talk about that fear of poverty, fear of death, fear of ill health. And there are a couple. Fear of criticism is the one that African girls seem to like have. And I was like, it was kind of funny because my fear is fear of poverty. And in the class, I had all these people who are afraid to be criticized. And I was like, let me ask you a question. You'd rather be poor than be criticized? And they're like, yes.
Yes. I struggle with it to this day. As much as I've worked on myself, I still struggle with it.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with it. And even putting out content, I'm like, how will it be received?
Yes.
Even the most confident people, I think, the ones where they appear as confident to us, they kind of, I think, have to give themselves a pep talk.
Right.
You have to like will yourself. No kidding, but the fear of criticism is real. So of course I'm sitting there, I'm in California, waiting in line and I'm thinking, oh my God, they're all looking at me. Oh my God, I look so weird. This is so uncomfortable. I went anyway. And the good thing with Alcatraz, if you've never been to Alcatraz, it's on an island.
Yes.
So you have to take a boat. You can see it, right? Like from the pier, you see.
Yeah.
The boat to go there. So I remember getting on the boat and someone just said hello. There was a couple next to me, they said hello to me. And I said hi back. And they're like, where are you from? I said, Atlanta. They started talking to me and I was like, oh, you can make friends. That was my first thing, like, oh, they're nice. Like if I have a question, I can actually talk. I'm not an island anymore. So I get there and it's a tour where you wear headphones.
Yes.
And every step you go, like you're being told, I don't know how they do this. It's like magic. I don't know if it's Bluetooth enabled because Every cell you walk in tells you you're now at cell 4, you're at the D block. And you're thinking, how do they know that I'm here? What if I try to like go the other direction? But it tells you what the prisoner was in there. And it was,
yeah. And Lily says how will it be received is a question that haunts her the most. So you know that you're not alone.
It's we deal with this because we worry. Every time you put anything out in the universe, you worry about how it's a criticism. And sometimes you're like, am I doing too much?
Yeah.
Am I doing too much? And you're like, no. And when you realize that you can never be too much for the right people.
Right. Oh my goodness. Say that again. You can never be too much for the right people.
For the wrong person, yes, they will criticize you. Or the person who's also struggling with their issues, they will project it on you.
Right.
Someone who's struggling with their own issues, it's funny you said that because someone mentioned to me yesterday, it was a quote by Christian Bale, but they had to tell me again. They said the people who criticize you or the haters, I said the people who criticize you mostly. And I'm not talking about, we need constructive criticism.
Right.
Criticism is not bad. We need criticism.
Yes.
The people who come at you negatively, they're doing less than you.
Yeah.
No one who's doing more than you will be criticizing you. And you know why? Someone who's doing more than you looks at you and sees. Even I can tell when I look at someone and I'm like, I see the work they're putting in because you've put in that work yourself and you know how hard it is.
Yes.
You will give that person kudos because you know the work they're putting in because you've been there or you've done it.
Yeah.
So criticism comes from people who don't get you.
They don't get you at all.
Negative criticism.
Yeah. And they're just basically poking because it's part of what their own experience might be.
Misery loves company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Misery loves company. So what do? They want to bring you down to their level. But because we're human beings, it affects us.
Yes.
It will affect us. Because you're human, you have feelings. We all want to be pat on the back, but you can't be pat on the back all the time. We actually need that criticism sometimes to humble you.
To keep you alert.
Keep you grounded. But you also have to recognize where it's coming from, if it's positive or if it's negative.
Yeah. So you have traveled alone, you had that whole experience, and that was the start, and the rest is history.
That was a start because so after Alcatraz did that, and then I said, let me go there was a restaurant next door. I said, let me go sit at this restaurant and have a meal before I go back to the hotel by myself again. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting at this restaurant, I'm at a pier, it is so beautiful. I'm just looking out. And I remember sitting there and it took 20 minutes to be acknowledged by the waitress. I could see them walking by and they were not busy. So that's what got me like, they're not busy. So why are they not acknowledging me?
Yeah.
And I've been a waitress. In my 20s, I used to work so I know you're trained, acknowledge someone, and even tell them I'll be right back. Right. So none of that. So I'm sitting there like, are you not seeing me here? And there's a guy who was next to me who noticed it because even he was having the same struggle. He looked at me and said, yeah, what's going on with this place? That was a conversation that changed it for me. So we were like, yeah. So we start talking. Yeah. We have a meal. And he's like, so are you traveling? And the one thing I tell people, when you're traveling solo, never reveal you're traveling solo.
Yes.
Tell someone, hey, my friends are coming here, or my husband will be here shortly, or something, because you never know what intention someone has.
Exactly.
I did not know that then, because this is my very first solo trip, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, I'm by myself.
Green.
And it was God. That was no coincidence. And he tells me this man was actually very well off. He ran. I mean, you know the Men's Warehouse.
Yes.
He ran like 4 franchises.
Oh, he was making some money.
Yeah, he was really just out there having a drink and then go back home. So he told me, "You've never been to San Francisco?" I'm like, "No." He says, "This is your lucky day." He says, I'm off today. Mm-hmm. I'd love to show you around. I'm not kidding. A stranger. And typically you'll be like, I don't know you. Like we've been brought up like, do not talk to strangers. That's not. And he told me, and I said, but I think there was maybe instinct. I was very comfortable. That's why you have to always listen to your intuition.
Right. And that is one of the other intellectual faculties we talk about in the class. Today, you have talked about willpower. You have talked about your instinct. And those are 2 driving forces that we talk about in the classes and go deep into.
Sometimes you never realize it until you look back, because again, hindsight is very clear. So, and no kidding, he took me to so many different places in God. I would have never experienced that on my own, even with my friend Brian helping me out.
Yeah.
And it got to a point later, he told me, oh, you have a friend called Brian who's work. So I told him about my friend Brian. He said, invite Brian over. And Brian came and joined us after work later. It was that's when I realized, my goodness, to be open-minded and just allow yourself to be will take you more places. When you're doubting everybody, because not everyone is out to get you. That's the biggest lesson I tell solo travelers, because especially women, they fear for their safety.
Right.
They fear, like they will look weird, but you actually make more friends when you're by yourself.
Right, because you're open. You're not inhibited by the people around you.
And I love that you said that, because when I travel with my friends, I'm looking at other people. We're in our little circle. We're very cliquish. Think about it, you're very cliquish, and you're not even allowing yourself to see what's happening around. You're all like, they say, oh, you guys see that? Oh, that's so cute. Oh, let's take photos. But when you're by yourself, you're forced to truly come out of your comfort zone, and you're more observant.
So you're using all your 5 senses. In addition to that, you are using all your mental faculties
without even knowing it.
Is powerful because you're self-guided.
Without even realizing it. That was these are lessons when I look back, that's why I wrote the book. Eventually I'm like, you guys need to see this, because if I didn't open myself to that, I would have never learned those things. So the fear that I have, I want as other people, everybody, but especially women, to know you can do this.
Yeah.
I had the same fears that you have. I had them. And if I can do it, if I tell myself, if I can do it, I feel anybody can. Granted, I am an extrovert, but I say that to even my introverted friends.
That this can be done.
It can be done.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing that you've said to me, because this, I didn't know, we hadn't talked about your tour guide. And I want to make sure that I don't hold you, because, I can talk forever. But I want to make sure that I don't hold you, because I know it's 9:45 and I know you have to go.
No, I have some time.
You have some time. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that have come up. You've said that you have met people have come your way and have guided you through. And I think we were talking about when you decided that you were going to show up fully on social media.
That's where you were.
Show up fully on social media, and you were going to just show your best self and just do it. We talked about how many people you came across in Atlanta who helped you along the way to craft your image, to help you move to a certain way. Annie, your friend Annie, is one of them, because you said Annie is a thrifter, and she's really good at it. And she for you, and she finds stuff. And for you, those of you who know Annie is one of her biggest products that I love is turmeric magic. Yes. And then she does a host of other things. I mean, she's
an entrepreneur, if you will. Entrepreneur who dabbles in everything, if you will.
Yeah, she's dabbling in a lot of different things and very talented, and can also help you with back end stuff like building your Shopify. She has a lot of skills, right?
I don't even think she realizes how amazing she is and the gift that she truly has. Honestly, I don't think so. But
so that's one person, but you have a couple of people who have helped you build this image that you put on social media that promotes the idea that you can travel on your own and live a big life, even though you're a girl from Nakuru.
I'm still a small town girl, and I want even like a girl in Kenya or a little village somewhere in Kenya thinking I can do this. Yes, I can. Because it took a village. It really took a village for me. I didn't get here by myself by any means. There were people who came in my life the right way, and they helped me. So, like for Annie, for instance, she loves clothes, and she's very stylish. She has that eye, so she pick out. I have it too.
Yeah,
but she helped me refine it. No, she helped me refine it. She helped me with nice clothes and all of those things. There are people like Gloria, who we follow. We both love Glow, the traveler. She was the first Black woman that I saw traveling by herself.
Yeah.
So almost like someone else paved the way for me, and they gave me permission to be.
Yeah.
So seeing Glow do that and encouraging me, I'm like, oh, if she can do it, I can too. So it's watching people like that and learning from them that I realized, oh, you could do this, you could do that. That's why you say you see a transformation.
Yeah.
Because then maybe I was unsure. And even to this day, I'm still unsure about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, you get to learn and just grow confidence by the day. That's why you talk about, you saw that a complete transformation.
Yeah.
Also learning photography skills.
Yes.
Learning how to present things, learning how to tell stories better. Like, it's something I work on every day, but I've learned from others, which is why you can see that it's evidenced. Obviously, you said it, but
yeah. And then also, the one thing that you have to grapple with is giving yourself permission to do this, because as we talk about cultural shackles, your family does not necessarily understand you. They still see you as the person that you are. And when you do something that's totally different from how the rest of the family is, I can only imagine, did you have questions?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin? Let me tell you, because I've always been different anyway, which my family knows this, but the travel thing, I'm not kidding. My whole family never understood it. And I say that it's not quite accurate, because my father, rest in peace, loved to actually just explore Kenya in general. So we travel a lot. As a child, we actually traveled by road a lot.
Yes.
We loved driving everywhere. We would go to different places. So it was always fun, like just traveling with my dad and getting excited for a new trip.
Yeah.
You know, that, are we there yet? I was that kid, are we there yet? Are we there yet? It was me in the car all the time. My dad loved it. So I got that from him. But then when you talk about international travel, like me just going to these countries by myself, my mother to this day has fears for me. And she prays for me every single day. Like most mothers pray for their children. She prays for all of us every day. But she never understood it. She's worried for me. So even like some of my friends, they'll worry when I travel by myself. Like, are you safe? Are you okay? Like, we're really, and not just that. Also, just the other thing is, they would tell me that I'm spending too much money. They had no idea that I wasn't spending that much. Again, I'm a budget traveler.
Yes.
I've kind of figured the way to travel smart.
Yeah.
To use less money, but get the best experience. I've mastered that.
Yes.
So they never understood it because I never shared it. I never opened up. So people judge me because they didn't understand it. Right?
Yes.
So obviously my mother, her concern was, everybody else is investing in land. Like the comparison.
Nunua shamba.
Nunua shamba. And then I'll be told every time I call them, oh, nani amenunua kaploti, amenunua, ametengeneza flat, amejenga flat. But what are you doing? All you're doing is just traveling everywhere. What is that going to get you?
Yeah.
I would get this every time. It got to a point that I stopped sharing. I stopped telling them that I was traveling.
Yeah. Because I think, and there's nothing, and Nunua Shamba, for those of you who don't speak Swahili, it's really invest in property, invest in a solid foundation. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. What the class brings out, and what we are trying to, emphasize here, is that you have your own journey on this earth. You have your own purpose on this earth. And sometimes your purpose will not be understood by the people who you think should understand it. It wasn't for them. The dream, and I'll say this as Lisa Nichols, was not given to them. It was given to you. So live your life. If buying a plot is in your future and it's your thing, buy the plot.
Yes.
If travel is your thing, do that, because people are looking to live with people who come alive, right?
That's the thing, because we're taught to do, like, growing up in Kenya, as you know, we're taught to be one thing, not one. It's very linear. You either, like, white collar. We go through life and school and all those things so we can get a white collar job.
Yes.
Nobody talked about, very few people were told about entrepreneurship. We didn't. Yes. Our parents got up every day and went to work.
Many parents did.
Very few people owned, very people that in my circle.
Yeah.
In my circles, I saw every parent wake up and go to work. They're the 9 to 5s. So the parents are like, okay, we're doing this so we can take you to school, make sure we have a roof over our head. The kids are going to school, they're fed, because we want a better future for them. But the future they want for you is a future they carve for you. where
Yeah.
they want you to either be a doctor, a lawyer, they want you to even a secretary. Some of them just want you to be a secretary, just go to work and look cute.
True story. My dad wanted me to be a secretary.
Yeah,
My mom.
I was a secretary, so I can't fault that. But they want then. Sometimes you look at them going to work and you think it's cute. Oh, they get to dress up and wear some heels, and it's so cute. So that's what they want for you. But you know what they forget to tell you? They forget to ask you, like the person, are you happy?
Yeah.
Like,
Happy.
do what makes you happy, and that's what I feel like even parents should tap into. Like every child is very different.
Yeah.
You need to tap into your children's gifts. They're not all the same. If a
Yeah.
child shows interest in something, nurture it.
Right. And you tap into your soul's personality.
And they may change their mind later. They may like that one moment and then change it later, but encourage them. But we got discouraged a lot. I wanted to do taekwondo. And I was told, why would you do that? And I was told to leave. I played basketball in high school. Then my mother was like, you're coming home too late. I don't trust that you're actually playing basketball. So no, I don't want to go into this thing anymore. I'm in drama class. I'm told, no, the things I wanted to do, it was more creative. I was more the creative. I was a creative more than I don't like sciences and math. It's not for me.
Yes.
Creative soul. But then my parents would try to push me to that side.
Yeah.
But then you don't know how to, you can't, and they don't know better. I don't fault them.
Yes.
The vicious cycle is what the parents did, is what they see others do. So yeah, so it's the happiness. And it got to a point where my mother would question my travels and say I wasn't investing enough, and everybody else, is going off and they're getting married and they're having children and they're doing this. No, sasa unafanya nini? Oh, I had it so many times, and it would actually it would stress me out, because sometimes I would think something was wrong with me.
Exactly. And here's the thing, and Pauline says it well, our parents wanted to live their dreams through us. And how many parents still want to do that now? Let your children be. And everyone has a journey on this earth. You always come back to it. I look at my life right now and I have come back to my journey, right? Because I remember when I left Kenya, I was going to study psychology. And I remember in the back of my mind, my dad was like, and what are you going to do with psychology? I dropped it like a hot potato as soon as I got here because I wanted a job.
And you're a coach now. So that psychology come in very handy.
It comes full circle. It just does. Right?
It really, truly does. It's the craziest thing. But you know what? They don't understand it. So the older I get, the more grace I give my parents as well. It took my mother 40 years of me living on this earth to get it.
Yes.
40 years. So if anybody's struggling, like even with parents not understanding them, your society or anybody, eventually they get it. It takes a long time. That's why you have to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
Now she's like, oh my goodness. Like when I went to Kenya in 2018, I got invited to go to Naivasha at a resort. This resort wanted me to stay there at this resort just for free. All they wanted in exchange was a review on TripAdvisor.
Okay.
So I said, I'll bring my mom. So I brought my mom and my niece. And my mother sat back and said, oh, this is what blogging does?
She's like, blog away, blog.
She was like, oh, she was like, oh, wow. Like she wasn't just like wasting her time, or like people, the other people who are actually recognizing it. And also I tell people, understand that some people will not support you until it's popular to support you.
Yeah.
And when they see other people rallying behind you, then that's when they're like, oh, I get it now. And you wonder, where were you before? But it takes people time. So you don't fault them either. You just know who you are.
Exactly. How much travel have you done in Kenya?
Not as extensive as I'd like, or to be honest. But when I went back in 2018, that's when I took that whole year to travel. I knew I wanted to go to Kenya. I knew it because I'd not been home since my dad's funeral. I mean, that's the last time I went home.
Yeah.
I see one. Yeah, Lilo is staying there. Thank you guys for these comments. This is really nice. And I see what Eva just said. She said, when you approach things with curiosity without judgment, you will enjoy things more openly. And nothing could be further from the truth, honestly, with that. But where were we? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
No, I was asking about Kenya because I think we had talked a little bit about how you've traveled the world, but sometimes going home is a little challenging because, you know, your dad had passed away and you miss your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he was it's where you got that free spirit from.
Yes, and I feel like I was much closer to my dad. And looking back now, I realized because my mother was a disciplinarian and my father worked in a different city. So my father was a weekend dad.
Close to the disciplinarian.
We never liked them because they're hard. But now looking back, I'm like, my mother had to deal with parenting by herself.
Yes.
So it was tough on her. Like, oh my goodness, I need to give her so much more grace. Yeah, my dad would only shop on the weekend, so he's gonna take us to places and bring us gifts. So we're like, yay, we love that. But mom has to do all the hard work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But when I used to go to Kenya, the few times I would go to Kenya, my dad would be the one to meet me at the airport.
Yeah.
So going to Kenya has always been his death, because I always felt like, oh, he won't be there to pick me up. Like, it's different. So after 5 years of not going home and still dealing with his passing, which was really hard for me, I went home in 2018 and I was there for 2 months.
Yes.
And I explored Kenya extensively.
Yeah.
And my God, don't we have a beautiful country, which we realize once we leave. When you're there, you don't appreciate what you have until you no longer have it, quite frankly.
Exactly.
But, oh my goodness. So I got to Naivasha. That was a free trip. You remember, I got to stay in that beautiful resort. It was incredible. So, and I got to take my mother, so she could at least enjoy some of those benefits. My niece, and it was just so nice. But it was so Kenya was amazing, and I got to bond with my mother in a very different way.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very necessary to bond with her and also to just explore Kenya and see Kenya forward. As a traveler, I want to be able to promote my country more, where I'm from.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was an amazing trip. My goodness, it was.
And it's interesting because you have literally followed your soul's purpose. You have really aligned. You're happy. And your life is not perfect. You're searching.
Not by any means. Yeah.
You're just on the journey. And I tell you, Kamunta says that her daughter is doing a PhD in counseling psychology, and African friends don't understand and gave her grief. And it's interesting. They're like, no money in the career. And you're saying money is important, but it is not the only thing.
And, money comes. If you follow your purpose, the money will come. It doesn't come immediately, but it comes. I think about my friends. I have Nigerian friends, and they tell me they're Nigerians. First of all, they're very driven. If you meet a lot of Nigerians that I meet, they're very accomplished. Their parents keep pushing them, including Asian kids, which is why they say helicopter parenting is a thing, where they impose their dreams on their children. They push them so hard. So most children, especially in Nigeria, my Nigerian friends, they're pre-med. They went to school and did medicine and realized it wasn't for them. Some of them actually completed and they do medicine, and then they realize they're not happy. Yes. You have all this money, but there's that thing inside of you that it doesn't set your soul on fire. Exactly. And people, you realize they change careers later in life. There are people who are born to serve. Like I have friends who are nurses, and it's their calling. Yeah. They love it so much. I couldn't do it, but they can do it. But if you follow your purpose, like for me, I wasn't making any money when I was doing this traveling thing. That's why my mother thought I was instead of saving that, she thought I was spending all this money
on travel. Yeah. But you see, that really hits a chord, because even Felicia says when her son turned 18, he turned 18 and chose a different path from her. And she didn't force him. She let him explore his curiosity. And then she says, life is way too short not to be happy. and oh my goodness, parents like that, I look at those parents like, my goodness, like they're new age. But I think also maybe divine intervention, where your parent can understand and be like, you know what, I see what my child likes, and let them be. And so what if they make a mistake? And exactly, because that's where we really learn from. No, we're so afraid to fail that we don't approach anything. But guess what? When you do it, you actually realize, my gosh, what was I even afraid of? Yeah. I told you about going live. I used to be so scared of going live. I would see people going live and I'm like, that would never be me. That would never be me. Because I'm like, what if I go there and nobody shows up? And when I did it the first time, I was also a little nervous. The second time I was not. By the third time, I was like, what was I afraid of? My favorite line about going live is Rose Oginga saying, go live. It's your Facebook page. Use it. It's yours. So what if they don't show up? Yes. We're afraid because we're so afraid of failing. And even our parents, you know why? They protect you from failure. They protect.
Sometimes when they tell you no, they protect because they love you. It comes from a place of love, and they're trying to protect you from failing because they know when you fail, you'll be sad. They're protecting you from that. But you know what? Let people fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, if I had not filed bankruptcy, I wouldn't be here. If I had not gone through my financial trouble in 2010, this whole coaching experience, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Same thing to me.
Yeah.
You and I would not be having this conversation had I not gone through the layoff I did last year.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true.
We would not be having this conversation. So some things, actually, mistakes they're not even mistakes when you look back, but nothing just happens in life. You're supposed to go through that. You're supposed to go through all of those things because in the failure is where you get the most lessons. And again, failure is feedback. Like, okay, that wasn't right. Let's do something else.
Failure is feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I tell you, it is so amazing that you've covered so many different topics. I mean, this is just so unbelievable because the one thing that I said to her is, don't worry, if anything goes wrong, we're just having a conversation.
We're just having a girl chat.
Yeah. Girl chat, right? And then in addition to that, we have talked about the idea that you chose a definite purpose. You have a definite direction, and you don't always know that this is where it's going to end. However, you know that this is the journey you want to start, right? My journey started with a library. And then when I saw the human potential of children, I started thinking, what if I use the same principles on adults? What if I introduce the idea of just expressing love and kindness and looking through to see your human potential, what would happen? And that's how I realized that coaching was really my thing, that the children part was no different from the adult part. For me, I'm just looking for the wellness of humans. I just want to see what happens on the African continent when we choose a different direction and say poverty is not our portion.
And
right?
What I like is that you serve.
Yeah, I love it.
When you have the serving mentality, it gives you a purpose. Because you're not about, look at me. I would never, ever, ever want someone to be like, I don't post things. So, oh my God, look at this fabulous life. Look at me. That's the last thing I want. My goal, like you inspire me when I see you doing the library and all those things. I'm like, these children who have no access to these books. I love books. And I told you, books transported me to worlds, to places I didn't know. So like, books open people up to things. And children are being exposed to that. Like, how incredible. Even the Lupita book that you did, Sulwe. Because why did she write that? Because Lupita struggled when she was younger. She struggled because she thought she was ugly. And I'm looking at her like, how could you even think that? Have you seen her?
I know.
She thought, and then she said when she saw Alekwek, because Alekwek was this completely dark-skinned Sudanese supermodel.
Yes.
Alekwek gave her permission to be. Like, my God, a woman like me is doing that. So what you're doing, you don't realize there's someone somewhere you're giving permission to do that. So living in purpose is how you be. So for me, travel gave me confidence.
Yeah.
It gave me confidence. So that's why I want to impart it to others. Like, guys, you can do that. I struggle, but you know what? I know you're struggling too because I was there. Someone. So I'm like, no, I want to encourage you to know that you can do it.
Yeah. I tell you, it has been fascinating. I've really enjoyed watching you. I remember in the class, it was challenging. You sat there through not knowing what was going to happen. Your hotel industry was hit first.
I took the class twice, remember?
So in full disclosure.
What do we call it in school?
Repeated. No, but here's the deal. Let me tell you one thing about taking the class twice. And I really don't have any problem with it because this is what you said. You came back and you were just like, I'm doing this again. I
had to because I didn't get it because I wasn't in a place to receive it. I had all these mental blocks. I don't have a job. I don't have this. I was actually looking at all the things I didn't have. Instead of
say that again.
I was looking at the things I did not have.
And then you did what?
I don't know. Remind me.
Looking at the things that you have. And you have a book inside of you.
I mean, so I'm thinking, first of all, I have Wi-Fi, and this class, all I need is Wi-Fi to be in this class with incredible cheerleaders. That's all I needed. Truly was, and I have a roof over my head. It's honestly, when you think about how blessed you are, it does give you a pep in your step. And you stop looking at but when you start looking at the negatives, oh, you wallow. We wallow in it. We wallow and we're like, oh, woe is me. Woe is me. What does it do? It just brings you down. But it says, stop, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You're like, wait, let's wait here. What do I have going? Even with COVID, I'm healthy.
I'm
100% healthy. I mean, I woke up today. Not many people had that opportunity. And I actually say that because I struggled with aging. Turning 40 was difficult for me. I didn't even celebrate it. And that's a milestone birthday. And I love pomp and circumstance.
We need a party.
I did not celebrate it. You know why? Because in my mind, I kept thinking to myself, again, we think about the things that are not, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm still not married. And everybody's looking at you like, okay, now you're over the hill. I'm thinking, oh my God, all the things I wanted to accomplish are not done. It took me to 41 to realize, wait a minute. Do you know what, look at the things you've done. How many people have not lived to 40? How many people have not lived to 40? You have the opportunity to live. And you're alive. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you're not supposed to be the same as everybody else.
No, you're never going to be.
So and so, and you don't even know what they're dealing with personally.
Yes.
Like, you should be celebrating your freedom. I'm able to get up and go whenever I want to.
Yes.
And I'm like, I didn't pay attention to those things. I just was looking at the things that were going wrong, which is the same thing with the class. And then I told you, I said, Jean, you actually told us, you mentioned, you said, you know what, guys, I know it's been a unique time.
It was unique.
None of us have ever, COVID, we've never dealt with it in our lifetime. Nobody even in the past 100 years has dealt with it. Mm-hmm. So we have no coping mechanism.
We didn't know how to do it.
There's no one to teach us, like, you know what? Yeah, this might last. We thought it was going to be here for about what? 3 months? Didn't we think COVID was going to be here for 3 months?
Yes. And look at us, 1 year later.
So we didn't know how to cope. And you told us, you know what, ladies? We didn't have you said, I'm thinking of doing this class again. You actually brought it up. We didn't. You said,
okay.
Yeah, you said, I'm thinking of doing this class again because I don't feel like you guys have gotten all the value you needed. And you also said that you also were better. You became a better coach.
I did.
The more you do, the better you become. So you said, no, I feel like in the next session, I will be able to offer more of myself. And I was like, you know what? Since I never absorbed anything because I was wallowing in my misery, I said, yeah, it's going to cost me more money. And someone can look at that amount like, oh my, first of all, you're jobless. I'm thinking, I don't even have this money. And you said something, you said, you know what, guys, because I want you to win, you told us, you don't even have to pay me.
Yeah. Take
your time. Because you said that money, you said it yourself. You said, you don't have to pay me right now. You'll pay me whenever you can.
Yeah. And that was different for me. And I wanted to do that because I knew that we were at a transformative part of our lives. And I kept saying to you guys in 2020, mm-hmm. Who are we going to be when this is over? Mm-hmm. Who are we going to be? And I had to go within myself and say, I'd love to be generous. I'd love to be kind. I'd love to be remembered for the things that touched people's hearts. Mm-hmm. And that's why I did that. And it was such a wonderful time because I think so many people, I'm so proud of it. I see Lillian here and I'm like, look at Lillian. I see Kemunto here and I'm like, look at Kemunto. I see you guys on Facebook doing your thing. And then you've become friends with the other women. There are almost 100 of us in the Facebook group and we have done things together.
That's why it goes back to mastermind.
Yeah.
You preach this every time, like having like-minded individuals. Again, I talked about this earlier. People will not get your dream because it is your dream. It wasn't a conference call by God, like all of us are supposed to be doing this. No, God put that in you individually. So you have your gift. But it's so amazing to be in a group of like-minded people because they cheer you on.
They do.
A different path, but because they're working on themselves. And I've come to learn that a woman who's sure of herself will always bring up another.
Yes. Yes.
It's always the ones who are sure of themselves that sit back and they're trying to pull you down and saying all kinds of stuff. But women who are sure of themselves and they're working on themselves, they see someone else doing amazing things and they want to bring you up.
Exactly.
Or sometimes we don't see ourselves the way others see us. No kidding. There are people who come to me and they're like, Sally, do you read? And I'm like, what? It takes someone else to tell me. And I'm like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Friends like that. And they're like, Sally, and I'm like, yeah, how do you not see what I'm seeing? You know? And being in that group, people tell you, no, you do this, do that, and we will buy, do this. And you're thinking, the power of mastermind is incredible.
It really is. And it's so funny. You see, Kimunta says, my life has been enriched by such a sisterhood cheering each other on. It's interesting because you hear that there are pages where people are just so negative, they do this. And the one thing I love to log on to a private Facebook page and just literally see what everybody's doing. And yes, I'm the queen of side-eye and I'm always watching you guys.
What are they side-eyes?
I'm looking at you. I can see you when you're quiet. I'm asking what's going on. But that's the whole purpose of the mastermind. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to watch you because you started the product, you started doing the book, and you said, I'm doing this book. And then halfway you got through it and then someone gave you tips and you were so annoyed because you had to push your launch date.
Not start over, but oh my goodness, feedback. Criticism is not bad. And sometimes you need tough people who actually tell it to you straight. Don't avoid them. We need it so badly because that's how you grow. So I reached out and said, hey, will you review this book for me? She told me, Sally, there's so many missed opportunities in this book. And I said, what do you mean? So she breaks it down. And you know what I thought to myself? I just thought, that's more work.
Immediately.
In my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, you know how long it took to get here. I've struggled through COVID with all these emotions. And now you want me to go back. And so I'm human. So I'm going to have those moments. And I was like, and then I thought to myself, and then she said to myself, no, Sally, if you're going to charge for something, do it well, do it right.
Yeah.
You know, give people value.
And
you will never regret doing the best you can.
Yes.
You'll never just do it. And so what if it takes 2 years to launch? Make sure it's done right. But speaking of like taking time, also don't take too long. You don't have to launch something when it's perfect.
Yes.
That's another thing. We're so worried about perfection that so many dreams are in our heads. So many projects are still laying around the house you're not working on because you're like, oh, it's not perfect. It's not launch it anyway.
Right. And so I'm missing an opportunity right now because it's the ultimate guide to solo travel.
Yeah.
That is the name of the book. And then in addition to that, your website is SallyGWorld.com.
Yes. Can you see my Facebook? Are they able to? Oh, is it just your Facebook showing? I don't know.
It's interesting because, as I mentioned, remember, I don't know how to do this that well yet.
We're still learning.
I'm going to post everything on her. I'm going to post in the comments after we finish. And then, of course, she tells you she also has a free ebook, which is free luxury travel on a budget. Mm-hmm. And the most exciting thing for me,
this cracks me up,
is that I want to travel with you.
Oh yeah,
so I can get those photos.
Yes. Oh, first of all, this is something I plan on doing because as much as I encourage everyone to travel by themselves, get to, the freedom it gives you, all of those, it's amazing. Solo travel. I also value sisterhood because we're taught like women are catty, women don't get along, women are awful. No. When you find your tribe, your community, they uplift you and you need them. You actually need them. So when I realized that, I was like, you know what? I enjoy travel. I enjoy planning it. So group trips. I'm like, travel with me. Let's go to Croatia. We do a cruise for a week on the Dalmatian coast. I've done that. And I fell in love with Croatia. I can't wait to take everybody that I know to Croatia so they can experience what I did. Yeah. So if someone is still not quite sure, they can say, wait, I can do the group trip. We can travel together.
So right now, what are you thinking of? Where do we go next?
Kemontra just said, if you could pin the website.
Okay, I'll do that.
To pin it.
Okay, I'll pin it. Yeah. So if you could go to what would your next destination be if you opened up tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. Saint-Tropez.
I would go.
Okay? Because again, I told you I didn't celebrate my birthday because I was so hung up with, oh my God, I'm old and I haven't done all these things. Didn't celebrate it. And then last 41, I actually did. I went to, I did that one trip. I told you 2019. I did the trip where I went to London, then Paris. They're two of my favorites. So London, Paris, and then I went to Monaco, which is the south of France.
I would love to go to Monaco. I think I belong in Monaco.
I'm telling you, being in Monaco, first of all, fun fact. Someone is saying to inbox my contact, I am happy to do that. Yes, I will plan that birthday for you. That's a milestone birthday. And she looks fabulous on this photo that I see. So we're gonna plan this photo. Well, this trip. But Monaco, fun fact. Every 3 people, 1 out of 3 is a millionaire or billionaire in Monaco.
Oh, that's my
wealth. When I tell you wealth and opulence, you think Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all those things. Monaco is a different type of wealth.
Yeah.
That's what wealthy people go there to vacation. Monaco does not even have an airport.
Oh.
How about I land this while I was there and I do my research prior to my trips. So I thought Monaco was part of France because I was flying. I flew from Paris to Nice.
Yes.
So once you get to Nice, I was like, what do you mean I'm living? So it's not that far, but it took maybe about 45 minutes.
Yes.
From Nice airport to get into Monaco. That's a different country. But 1 in 3 people are a billionaire, millionaire, or billionaire.
Oh, I think I belong there.
When you're there, you feel it in the air. But I don't know if it was just me.
The energy.
I felt it. And I went with friends, 2 of my friends. First of all, we were 3 black ladies, different shades of black. And when I tell you, I did not see black travelers. I did not see them. I did not see them. But so you stand on like a sore thumb. So everywhere you go, you're seeing people like, oh, they're sending drinks over. I want to send them a bomb or whatever. And then when you order a taxi, there is Jaguar or Mercedes.
Okay.
An Uber, it's not even a taxi. Uber, you call an Uber, Jaguar, Mercedes. That's what and this is basic Uber. The Uber, the basic one we have here.
Yeah.
It's luxury cars.
Okay.
When Monaco, I need to blog about Monaco because Monaco was an experience. You know, that's why they have the Formula One.
Yes, yes.
And you get to see the track and hotels. We went a week after Formula One because it happens in May, June. So we went there. We got there in June. So
yeah.
So that hotels there on the upwards of $5,000 a night if you want to be around the track where the track is.
Yes.
And the week we went, I used my hotel discounts. Again, I was in this place, very wealthy place, but I barely spend any money.
Yeah. And I think that's what I really love about this is that you have hacked travel and that you're showing people that you can give yourself permission to do whatever it is you want to do. This world is our oyster.
Yes.
My sister says Monaco sounds like my place too.
You know, it's all of our place because, we were not, I'm a firm believer in God did not put us on this earth to just work, pay bills, and then die.
Yeah.
No. We're supposed to
enjoy it.
Amazing lives.
Yeah.
Invest and do all those things. But don't forget to take care of you. And also know that you deserve so much more. Regardless of where you're from, regardless of your current circumstances.
Yes.
You deserve so much more. And so that's what travel has taught me so much. Like it's been a life lesson. It's been like I plan a group trip to Monaco.
I see.
We have recruits.
Oh, Sally, this has been a favorite topic. Pauline had said earlier that she just absolutely loves that we have a space where we can come and talk. I think it would take us a whole year to go through all the girls in the group who are doing amazing things. Actually, it would take us about 2 years.
These girls sometimes make me feel like I'm not doing enough.
And remember, what is the lesson? Comparison is the thief of all joy. That is our
I want to be inspired. Like when I wake up and I'm lazy, when I wake up and I'm just feeling a little lazy. And you know what? That's why I say this. You never know who your message is reaching. And sometimes they don't say anything. Someone may not even like your post. They may never make a comment. They may never do anything. Don't get discouraged. Someone somewhere is actually watching you.
Exactly.
People who come to me are the ones who never ever acknowledge anything I do, but they'll come to me in the back and they're like, my God, you helped me do this. You encouraged me to, or you inspired me. And I'm looking at them like, and who are you? And where were you? Oh, you couldn't even give me a like on my Instagram or nothing. But that's why when I watch people like who post like their workouts, someone has worked out that day and they post a picture of them working out. You know what? If I'm sitting in my house just being lazy and I'm eating all kinds of crap and I see that post, it makes me stop like, I need to work out.
I have a high school buddy named Caroline Asuko.
Yes.
And she works the heck out. And sometimes I'm on her stories and I just watch her.
I'm no kidding. And you may not even do anything.
Yeah. And guess what? There are days
away.
There are days when I get up and I go out and run because I was watching her.
It inspires you to actually get up and move. That's why a lot of us are struggling. They're hoarding. You're hoarding because you don't want to share your life. It won't be received well. Oh my goodness. Like you never know who that day someone needed that message. Like that's what someone says. I don't know who needs to hear this. I say that and I'm always like, true. You don't know who needs to hear this, but you'll see a quote and you're like, oh, that resonates.
That resonates.
That's beautiful. So if you ever feel something and you feel that the need to share it. Whether someone doesn't like it, it doesn't matter. There's going to be someone who actually will affect them in a positive way.
Yeah.
So it's good to see all these women winning. Oh my goodness, it encourages me. It really does. Because I'm like, wow, let me get up and work. Oh my God, Jean wakes up at 4:30 in the morning. And I'm a morning person, but I'm like, 4:30? So I'm thinking by the time it's 8 a.m., how much has she accomplished? Why am I sleeping?
What could I do better? What could I do better?
What could I do better? And I'm not saying work. No, people tell you don't sleep or 4 hours. No, you need rest. You need rest. Work on your schedule on that. But I'm always like, my goodness gracious, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Is saying here, she says, I'm right. Silent followers are the greatest blessing in your journey. It's a silent ones that buy what you're selling.
Don't feel bad. Yeah.
Friends will come and tell you congratulations and do all that, but they will never even look at that product because it's not for them. And be okay with it. It's not for them. My friends know they can come to me for travel advice. They don't even buy my book. They're like, she's here.
Yes. And I tell you, we are going to close with Lillian's comment. She says, my takeaway today is a woman who is sure of herself will always bring up another.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. A woman or man.
Yes.
They're sure of themselves and they work on themselves every day. So they know the effort it takes to put certain things out. So that's why they're like, I see what you're doing and I recognize it. And they're able to uplift you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? We also should uplift others. Like when you see someone doing work, I do this all the time to anybody I know. And I'll tell them, like, oh my God, you're doing so amazing. Even strangers on Instagram, I'll be like, I'm really loving what you put out today. And they're like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. That means so much to me. I was struggling today. And I'm thinking, you? And you never know that kind word, you don't know where it's going. Even people you think, oh, they already know they're awesome. Oh, they already know they already know. Tell them anyway, because you don't know what they're struggling with that day. And that little encouragement even takes it farther for them. So we have to lift each other up. And like on your topic, it says, do it afraid. Do things afraid.
Do it afraid. And that's the whole thing. I'd like you guys to know that I was in the front row as Sally was building this book, and she was terrified. She was writing this book, and she was terrified. Everything around her was going wrong. And she went out and did it, and she did it afraid. And that is, guys, what we were intending. It was funny. We had this conversation about what we were going to talk about. And I said, I see a running theme here, and it's do it afraid. And you do a whole lot of things afraid. Now, I'd like you to tell us your Instagram.
Okay. All right. So my Instagram, I'm going to just say, so it's Miss MS and then Sally, SALLY, and for my middle initial G. So it's Miss Sally NG. And if you go to my website, which is sallygworld.com, if you just scroll over to the bottom, it links to my Facebook and Instagram and all of that. sallygworld.com, and there's a free ebook there. I mean, it can get you started. It's luxury travel on a budget. And when I wrote this book, I seriously, it was the questions I was getting and the misconceptions that were out there. And I'm like, just here's free information. Take it. Travel like me. Like, you can do it too. I'm not trying to tell you, oh, my life is so fabulous, it's out of reach. No, because I didn't spend that much money. If I can do it, you can too. So I wrote that book, and it's available. It's got actually great information in it. For a free book, I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Beautiful too.
When I wrote it, I know we're almost winding up. The girl I was working with told me, she was like, Sally, in order for you to establish like authority in your industry, for people to trust you, you can't just come on Facebook and be like, buy my book, and you haven't proven anything. You have to earn your stripes. You have to earn people's stripes.
Yeah.
You have to offer value.
Uh-huh.
You have to offer people value so that they know if they have to buy a product from you, if you can give an amazing product for free.
What are you gonna sell?
So imagine what you could give when you're selling it.
Yes.
She had to get me out of that what is it called? The mindset? The abundance, and what's the other one? Abundance mindset.
Scarcity.
She had to get me out of the scarcity mindset, because I'm thinking, all this effort I put in, and I'm paying you to actually design this book, and I'm not gonna make any money. That's what I was thinking. But she said, no, think long term.
And I can tell you that you will find it valuable. I can tell you that you'll find it valuable.
The free one is actually great. So you can start there. For anybody, start with a free one. And then if you find value in that, move on to the next product, which is now the ultimate guide to solo travel, where I share everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because travel is not always pretty. Don't get me wrong. It makes me so happy, but it's not always pretty. I've been through enough. I've been through things, and I even sent you a link of my situation in Bali. Yes. Yeah, I had a sexual assault case. Not case. It wasn't as bad, but it happened anyway. So by a masseuse. Yeah. So I have it on my blog too as well. People can reference that.
Yeah. And the way you're so real and transparent with it. I've really been enjoying clicking on your links and reading your stories. And I remember when I was going to Kenya in January, I saw a post that you had put on Facebook, and I texted you and I said, I just bought travel insurance. Yes, that's important. Nothing happened. I didn't need to use it, but what if I had?
I'm telling you, because as a traveler, you read stories. People go and they do things. You can get into an accident while you're traveling. Things can go so wrong. You just never know. You really never know. And can you imagine if I was to go say to Croatia and I get into some activity, like whatever, like I go hiking and I fall and say I die. We're all going to die. Can you imagine how much it would cost even just my parents? First of all, I don't know if they would ship my body to America or ship it to Kenya. I don't know. But the expenses, I don't want other people to have to worry about the things I was doing for fun.
Yes.
Travel insurance is such a small amount for peace of mind.
And if you get sick, you have to change your travel plans. There's so many inconveniences that.
Yes, and that covers even if you have to cancel with COVID now. It's so unpredictable. You just pay for that insurance. It's probably $100, if you will, but it covers you like to get a full refund. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But our scarcity mindset holds us back from doing a lot of things. Investing in coaches, which we all need guidance. Just doing things we're thinking money. We think, oh my God, that's going to cost money. Think long term. Most of us don't. We just think very surface level. I tell you, I could talk to you until tomorrow. But I know, we're busy women. We got things to do. We got empire to do. I have 5 miles waiting for me. I have to run 5 miles this morning. I committed to it, and I'm going to do it. So I'm wearing this shirt, but underneath, I'm wearing this shirt. I have this makeup, but my workout clothes are on. You know, I have a full. I don't wear makeup when I'm home anyway. I really don't. I did this for you, Jean. Yeah, Lily said she loves listening to both of us. I'm really so much tuning in, and anybody else listening after, we appreciate you. Exactly. I hope you get some good gems out of this conversation. Yeah. If you'd like to, I'm very open. You can DM me. Honestly, I respond to all my DMs. Unless they're inappropriate, I respond to every single DM. Okay. Well, it's been lovely. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope this is helping. I think it is.
We talked with Alice, and I've got some people come to me as a result of having the conversation with Alice. And you have been a true testament to commitment, willpower, using your intuition and imagination to get this book out and to help women go out and do what it is that they have been.
Their life unapologetically.
Yes. So I'll see you next week. I have another guest coming next week. I don't know if she knows that she's my guest. I don't know if she understands that she's my guest, because I did give her notice that I'd love to talk to her. And she's an inspirational girl, and you guys all know her, but she's shy, and we're going to come out and do this. We'll do this next Saturday.
I mean, having this I am an extrovert, so I have to remember that. But you put somebody at ease.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
having a conversation. We overthink things.
I know.
Yeah. And even the camera intimidates people sometimes. I get it.
Yeah. So I will see you guys on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. And then I'll see you on Thursday at 8 a.m. And guys, do not forget that this is the space where we are starting to explore why we are so beholden to the rat race and the cultural shackles. We're releasing. We're no longer doing average. The dance with average is over.
No.
And I just wanted to show you that Sally is confronting that dance with average every single day. She's not 100% perfect. Nobody is. She just wanted to share with you what she has successfully done. And if you want to find out anything more, go to sallygworld.com. And then don't forget, her Instagram will inspire you every time.
Much too kind. Thank you so much for having me. I truly enjoyed this.
I really loved it. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Average is yesterday. Bye.
Yesterday.